Yes, hello everyone. Am I audible? Am I audible to everyone? My voice is audible? Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Pranshu Rathor and I work as a technical trainer for Selected.com. Right. So, I have around 5+ years of experience as a developer and technical trainer. Right. So, today's webinar is based on full stack development. Right. So we will see different aspects of full stack development, what is included in full stack development, what languages, libraries, tools you need to perform full stack development. Right. So for that, I am sharing my screen. Okay. Okay, give me a second. I'm just sharing my screen. Yes, so my screen is visible to everyone. Is my screen visible? Right. Okay. So this is our board. Here we will cover what is full stack development and what all things you need for it. Okay, so here I'll just give a heading full stack development. Right. So full stack development. Okay. So now we need to understand what is full stack development. Okay. So if I define full stack development, so you can say full stack development is a process where you develop an application end to end. Okay. सो एंड टू एंड का मतलब क्या है? यहाँ पर आपको शुरू से लेके आखिरी तक पूरा एप्लीकेशन हैंडल करना पड़ेगा, मैनेज करना पड़ेगा और डेवलप करना पड़ेगा, राइट? सो यू नीड टू handle, manage, and develop the whole application. Okay, from the start, from the beginning to the end, right? So that is known as full stack development, right? So now in full stack development, you can create different categories of application, right? So applications falls under three categories. So we have web apps, okay, web applications. We have mobile apps, okay, mobile applications, and we have desktop apps, okay, or desktop applications, right? So there are generally three categories of application: web apps, mobile apps, and desktop apps. Now, what are web apps? Web apps are those applications which are accessible on a network, right? For example, the applications that you access through internet. Okay. So for running a application, a web application, you need internet, a network, right? So what are the examples of web apps? Amazon is there. Okay, Flipkart is there. These all applications are hosted on a network that is on the internet. So that is why they falls under the category of web apps, right? Then secondly, we have mobile apps. Okay, mobile apps are those applications which you download in your mobile through Play Store. Okay. So WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, these are all the examples of mobile applications, mobile apps, right? Now, the third category is the desktop apps. So, desktop applications are those applications which you use on your Windows operating system, right? Like MS Office, okay, PowerPoint, then Excel is there, okay. So, there are different types of applications, right? Then any application can fall under these three categories also. Okay. For example, whatsapp also have a web app, whatsapp also have a mobile app, and whatsapp also have a desktop app, right? So like this you can categorize the application in three types, right? So specifically, we will talk about the web apps. Okay, so in this webinar, we will only focus on the web apps, means the applications that you will host on a network, right? Now, for any application, there are three components or three parts of an application. Okay, first one is the front end. So you all have heard these terms, right? Front end, back end, databases. Okay, and there will be one user also, so I'll just make one user here. Okay, so this is one user, right? And user will only use the front end. Okay, so we have a front end, then we have a back end, and we have database, right? So there are three parts of an application: the front end, the back end, and the databases, right? Now let us understand these three things, and for that I'll go to Amazon website. Okay, so you can see we can go to the home page. So this is the website of the Amazon. Okay, you can also say that it is the front end of the Amazon, right? So if you want to use the Amazon application, you need to go to the front end of the application. So any website that you visit, whether it is Amazon website, Flipkart website, so that website is known as the front end. Okay, where user will go and user can purchase any product here, right? So front end is also known as the user interface, the UI. Okay, so I'll write it here, the UI, user interface of the application, where user will interact with your application, right? Then secondly, we have the backend. So backend is also known as the server. Okay, so backend is also known as the server where your business logic resides. Okay. Now, what kind of logic? On the front end, a user will do many things, right? User will sign in. Okay. Then user will purchase product. User will make payments, right? So all these things which are happening behind the scenes. Okay. So that things are happening on the back end, right? Which user cannot see directly. Okay, so you cannot see whether your payment is processed by the bank or not, and how your product is going to be delivered. So you cannot see these behind processes, right? What you know that I need to select a product, I need to make the payment, and that product will be delivered to me in 3-4 days. Okay, so ऐसी सारी चीजें जो यूजर को नहीं दिखती वो सब बैक एंड पर होता है. ओके, सो ऐसे भी आप ध्यान रख सकते हो. Now on the third part is the database. Why we need database? Because there will be a lot of data related to my application. There will be users data, okay, who all are signing and registering in my application. There will be products data. There are billions of products on Amazon, right? So we need a storage to store these data, right? Users data, product data. So for that storage we will use the databases. So I'll just summarize, okay, this in one line. So full stack development is the process where you makes an application, and application have the three parts: front end, back end, and the database. Okay. So I guess things are clear up till here. Yes, yes or no? Things are clear or not? Right. Okay. Now let us discuss about the programming languages. Okay. So what all programming languages you will need for building a front end, back end, and a database? Okay, let's first talk about the front end. So for the front end, you need HTML. Okay, then you need CSS and you need JavaScript. Okay. So there are three primary languages which you need to build a front end. Means if you want to build a website like Amazon, so you need these three languages, which is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Right. Now, what is the use of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? Let us see. So, in our website, there are three things which you need to do. Okay, first one is the structuring, second one is the styling, and third one is the functionality. Okay, now what is structuring? In structuring part, we will tell that what content will become. It will become a heading, or it will become a paragraph, or it will become an image, or it will become a button. So these all things we decide with the help of HTML. So structuring part is done with the HTML. ओके किसको क्या बनाना है, किसको हेडिंग बनाना है, पैराग्राफ बनाना है, लिंक बनाना है, वो सब HTML से डिसाइड करते हैं. ओके द स्ट्रक्चर पार्ट. Now the second one is the CSS styling part. So on this website, you can see there are different kind of styling and design elements are there. So you can see colors are there. Button is of orange color. We have boxes. We have a layout, right? So these all things come under the CSS. Okay, the designing and the styling part. Okay, so it is the work of CSS. Now, why we need JavaScript in our application? In JavaScript, we will provide the functionality for a website. Okay, what kind of functionality? You can see there is one button. So if I click this button, you can see next image is coming, right? And if I click this previous button, you can see previous image is coming. So this is called the functionality. Okay, so for making your website functional, you can do it with the JavaScript. So these are the three main things for a front end. Okay, HTML for structure, CSS for style, and JavaScript for functionality. Okay, if a user do something, so our website should do some functionality on it. All right. Now let us talk about the backend. So in backend, we have different languages. We have JavaScript. Okay, then we have Python. With the help of Python, also you can make a backend. Then with the help of Java, you can make a backend. Okay, then PHP is also used for make a backend, right? Then we have C sharp. Okay, so with the help of C sharp, you can make a backend. With the help of Ruby, you can make a backend. So there are many options for the backend, right? Okay, so by these languages, you can make a business logic, the server. Now, if we talk about database, so database is generally of two types: SQL database and no SQL database, right? So SQL and no SQL database. So what is SQL? SQL stands for structured query language. That means your database will be structured. Your data will be organized in the form of tables, right? Rows and columns. And what is NoSQL? NoSQL means your database will not be structured. Okay, it will not be organized, right? It will not be in the tabular form. So it can be in any form like paragraph, okay, text, objects, right? So there are SQL and NoSQL databases. Okay, things are clear up till here. Any doubt? Any doubt up till here? Okay, right. Now let us go back to our picture. Okay, now here we only discussed about the programming languages, right? We only written the programming languages. But now, apart from these programming languages, we also have libraries and frameworks. Okay, so what are libraries and frameworks? Let us see. So you can see I can make this whole website with the help of these core languages. Okay, so I can make this whole website with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript alone. So why we need libraries and frameworks? So let us see. Okay, so let me ask you one example. Okay, if you can make your own food, then why you prefer the instant food? Nowadays you can see there are instant noodles. Okay, instant food is available in the market everywhere, right? So if you can cook your own food, so why there is a need of instant food? Can anyone answer this? जब हम खुद का खाना बना सकते हैं तो ये बनी हुई चीजें हम क्यों लेके आते हैं बाहर से? Yes, answers please. Right. Okay. सो विशाल विशाल ने बोला है और स्पीडस्टर, ठीक है, इसने बोला है, क्या बोला है कि टाइम आपका सेव होगा, इट विल सेव योर टाइम एंड इट विल सेव योर एफर्ट, राइट? सो टू थिंग्स आर गेटिंग सेव्ड हियर, योर टाइम एंड योर एफर्ट, राइट? So I can make the whole website with these languages, okay, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but it will take me a lot of time and a lot of effort. Okay, so that is why we have libraries and frameworks. So just like we have ready-made food, instant food. So in libraries and frameworks we have ready-made code. Okay, so we can take that ready-made code. So let us take the example of Bootstrap. Okay, so if I search Bootstrap on the search engine, so you can see Bootstrap, the most popular HTML, CSS, JavaScript library in the world. You can go to its website and you can see build fast. Okay, so now your work will be more faster. And you can go to the docs, and if you scroll down and if you go to carousel, so here you can see one component is there, carousel component. And what is that component? Okay, if you click the button, okay, so you can see next slide is coming, and if you click the previous button, previous slide is coming. This is the same component that we have seen here, okay, on this website, right? So what we need to do, there is ready-made code. As I said, you will get the instant code, ready-made code. So you just have to copy it and paste it in your project, and it will be ready to use, right? So that is why we use libraries and frameworks, okay, to save your time and efforts. So now I'll list all these libraries and frameworks here. So for CSS, we have seen we have Bootstrap, okay, then we have Tailwind, right? If we talk about JavaScript, so JavaScript have React JS, okay, it have Angular JS, right? So there are many libraries and frameworks of JavaScript, okay, but majorly these two are more popular in the market, React and Angular. Now if I talk about the server, so for building a server for JavaScript we have Node.js and Express.js, okay. Python we have Django, okay, we have Flask. So there are different options to create a server with Python. Then in Java we have Spring, okay, Spring Boot. So there are options in Java also. In PHP we have Laravel, okay, we have Magento, right? We have Code Igniter. So there are many options in PHP. In C Sharp we have .NET. Okay, so .NET is a framework of C Sharp, and in Ruby we have Ruby on Rails, right? So there are many options for creating a backend. Now let us talk about the databases. For SQL databases, you have many platforms like MySQL. Okay, then we have Oracle. Okay, so there are different options for SQL. Then NoSQL also we have different options. MongoDB. Okay, and we have Redis. So multiple options are there for NoSQL also. Okay, so these are all the things which you will need for developing an application, the front end, the back end, and the database, right? So everyone got it? What is Remix.js? Remix.js is also a framework of JavaScript. Okay, right. All right. Okay. Now we will see some tools that we will need to do all these things. Okay, that we have discussed. Okay, so there are two tools. Okay, I'll name it here. So first one is the Git, and second one is the GitHub, right? So you also need Git and GitHub apart from all these languages, libraries, and frameworks. Okay. So now why we need Git and GitHub, these tools? Okay, let us take one example. Okay. So let us suppose I want to make a Amazon website. Okay. And I will hire different people for different parts, right? For front end I'll hire one person, for back end I'll hire one person, for databases I'll hire one person. Okay. And all these people will code in different languages, right? Okay. Every day I'll give them some task. Okay, they'll complete the task and they'll come to me. Okay, I'll get their code and I'll run it on my system and I'll integrate it with my project. Okay, so this is the regular flow of my work. Okay, every day I will give some task to my employees. Okay, they will come to me, they will show me the code, I will check the code and I'll take the code and integrate it with the project, right? So it is manageable if I have 3 or 4 employees, right? But let us take the example of Amazon. Okay. So if I take the example of Amazon, okay, so can you guess the number of developers who are working behind Amazon? Please say, sir, MySQL learning benefits. Okay, we will see the roadmap also. Don't worry. Okay, I'll cover up everything. Okay, have some patience. Yes, so can you guess the number of developers who are working behind Amazon? Any number you can guess? Number of developers working behind Amazon. At least 30, 40, 50K, 20, ठीक है, 40, 20। जो लोग 40, 20 बोल रहे हैं भाई, इतने डेवलपर्स तो एक स्टार्टअप में ही होते हैं यार। Amazon की बात कर रहा हूं मैं, ग्लोबल एप्लीकेशन है Amazon। ओके, ओके, यहाँ कुछ लोग बोल रहे हैं 5K। ओके, सो यू आर राइट, थाउजेंड्स ऑफ डेवलपर्स वर्क बिहाइंड Amazon। Yes, yes, unique girl, right? Thousands of developers are working behind Amazon. Okay, and now let us imagine this scenario with thousands of developers. Okay, so I am the manager now, right? Now, is it possible for me to take code from thousands of people every day and review it and integrate it with my project? So, is it possible for me now? No. Okay, it is not possible now. Okay. I cannot go to every person, take the code, check the code, and integrate it. Right. So here I need some code management. Okay. So what we need? We need some kind of code management. First, tell us what one should learn to enter the industry. भाई समीर तू पागल है क्या? इतनी देर से मैं तुझे लैंग्वेजेस और फ्रेमवर्क्स लाइब्रेरीज बता रहा हूँ, वो क्या था? वही सीखना होता है इंडस्ट्री में घुसने के लिए। ठीक है, तो what we were discussing, yes, if I go now, imagine I need to go to thousands of developers every day. Okay, then they will tell me that you need to check the code, so I'll check the code of thousands of developers. Okay, then I'll integrate it my project. Okay, so it is not possible with thousands of developers. I cannot keep track of thousands of developers every day, right? So that is why we need code management. Okay, so for the code management, we have these two tools, Git and GitHub, right? So these are different tools. Okay, so don't confuse that they are same. Okay, I'll tell you what is the difference. So Git is a version control system. Okay, so version control system means I can track, okay, that who have made what changes, right? Now there are thousands of developers. Okay, let us suppose that some developer have done some mistakes. So how will I find which developer have done the mistake in thousands of people, right? So I need some track of my developers. So Git is a version control system, so it is a tool which will help you to keep track of your developers and the changes. Okay, so it will tell you who made the changes, why they have made the changes, and when they have made the changes, right? Now next come to the GitHub. Okay, so GitHub is a code hosting platform. GitHub is a collaboration platform. Okay, so code hosting platform means here you can host your code and it will be shared to all the developers who are working with you. Okay, right? So we will do it with the GitHub, the code sharing part, the collaboration part, right? Okay, so getting it? Any doubts, guys? Yes, Neha Patel is asking, sir, we have to learn both SQL and NoSQL for database. We will discuss this also. Okay, so don't worry. Next thing I am coming on roadmap only. Okay, so up till here there is any sort of doubt for you guys? Okay, no doubts, right? Sir, can you explain GitHub bit more? Jashan Mahi. Jashan Mahi, do you understand Hindi? So, in Hindi, I can once again tell you about Git and GitHub. ओके, ठीक है, तो मैं एक बार हिंदी में समझा देता हूँ भाई आपको। ठीक है, फिर से समझो ध्यान से। मान लो मुझे अमेज़न की वेबसाइट बनानी है। ओके, सो अमेज़न की वेबसाइट बनानी है। अब अमेज़न एक बहुत बड़ा एप्लीकेशन है, ठीक है? आप अभी हमने देख लिया है कि अगर आपको एक फुल स्टैक डेवलपमेंट एक एप्लीकेशन बनाना है, तो बहुत सारी लैंग्वेजेस, टूल्स, लाइब्रेरीज़, फ्रेमवर्क सब कुछ यूज़ करना पड़ेगा। तो मैं क्या करूँगा, अलग-अलग एक्सपर्टीज़ के अलग-अलग लोगों को हायर करूँगा, ठीक है? फिर वो लोग क्या करेंगे, मैं रोज़ उन लोग को कुछ काम दूँगा, ठीक है? निर्मल, आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग द सेम थिंग दैट आई हैव एक्सप्लेन इन इंग्लिश। उसी सेम चीज को मैं हिंदी में समझा रहा हूं, ठीक है? यस, सो अब क्या होगा, मैं रोज इन डेवलपर्स को कुछ ना कुछ काम दूंगा, राइट? और ये मेरे पास काम खत्म कर कर आएंगे, ठीक है? और मुझे दिखाएंगे कि ये देखो सर, हमने ये कोड लिखा हुआ है, और इसको आप देख लीजिए, चेक कर लीजिए और इंटीग्रेट कर दीजिए सोर्स कोड के साथ, ठीक है? तो मैं उनका कोड चेक करूंगा और इंटीग्रेट कर दूंगा भाई अपने प्रोजेक्ट के साथ, राइट? अब ऐसा मुझे रोज करना पड़ेगा, मैं रोज कुछ ना कुछ काम दूंगा, वो काम खत्म कर कर मेरे पास आएंगे और मैं रिव्यू करके इंटीग्रेट कर दूंगा, राइट? अब लेकिन हम अमेजोन की अगर बात करें, रियल वर्ल्ड अमेजोन की, तो उसके पीछे हजारों डेवलपर्स काम करते हैं। ओके, अब हजारों डेवलपर्स में कौन क्या कोड लिख रहा है, कौन क्या गलती कर रहा है, ये मैं कैसे ट्रैक करूंगा? ओके, तो समझे क्यों चाहिए गिट एंड गिटहब, राइट? सो गिट एंड गिटहब आर दी टूल्स जिससे हम ट्रैक कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? कौन क्या कोड लिख रहा है, कब लिखा उसने कोड, ठीक है? कोई किसी ने गलती कर दी तो वो हम ट्रैक कर सकते हैं भाई किसने की है गलती, राइट? फिर उसके बाद कोड शेयरिंग की जो प्रॉब्लम आएगी, ओके, सो फॉर कोड शेयरिंग वी विल यूज गिटहब। Okay, so Git is a tracking tool. With Git, you will only track the people who have made what changes. And GitHub is a code hosting platform. It is a collaboration platform where you can collaborate with your team members and you can share code easily. Okay, now I guess it is clear to everyone. Okay, I've just explained Git and GitHub in Hindi. Okay, in English, I have already explained it. I just translated it in Hindi. Okay. Right. Okay. So I guess now everything is clear to everyone. Okay. Why we need React? Why we need Bootstrap? Okay. What is CSS? What is JavaScript? What is Git and GitHub? Right. Now let us talk about the roadmap. Okay. So now let us see how you have to learn this full stack development. Okay, so you have to start with the front end, right? So if you are a beginner, okay, if you want to learn full stack development, so I'll suggest that it's better that you start with the front end. Okay, So for the front end, first learn about the HTML, okay, then learn about the CSS, then in CSS, at first learn about this bootstrap, okay, then move on the JavaScript, okay, and in JavaScript, no need to learn each and every library and framework. Only one you can choose. So either you can go with React or either you can go with Angular. I will suggest you React. Why? Because React is less complex, it is beginner friendly, okay, you will easily understand what React is. Angular JS is little bit complex, okay, it have a steep learning curve, okay, it will take time for you to learn Angular. So for the starting, I'll just suggest you go with HTML, CSS, then Bootstrap, then JavaScript, and then with React. Right. So here your front end part will be completed. So if you have these four things in your resume, if you have HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, and React, so definitely you can crack a front end job, a basic front end job. Right. Then you can switch to the back end. Right. So for backend, you have different options, as you can see. Okay, there are many options in backend. Okay, but you don't need to learn all these languages. Okay, you just have to select one. Okay, either you select JavaScript, either you select Python or Java or PHP, C Sharp or Ruby. Okay, so only one will be enough, right? Then the same happens with database. So when you have finished learning backend, learn about the integration of database with the backend, and for the database also you need to learn only one kind of databases. Okay, either SQL or no SQL, right? So what kind of combination in market right now is trending? I'll tell you. For Java, mostly people use SQL, and for Python also they use SQL, but for JavaScript they use no SQL, that is MongoDB. Okay, but it is not mandatory that you should only use NoSQL MongoDB with JavaScript. You can also use SQL with JavaScript. You can also use MongoDB with Python and Java. Okay, so that is totally depend on your choice. What kind of databases you want to have in your application, right? So learn about the front end first, then switch to the back end. For back end, select any one language, okay, master it, then go to the databases, select any one kind of databases and integrate it with your back end, right? So I guess everyone got it how you can learn the full stack development step by step. Okay, someone is asking, sir, which language is preferable in backend? Okay, and someone have replied Python is better than other language. Okay, it is not right. Okay, I'll we will discuss on this topic, right? So now, if you ask me that which language should be preferable for backend, so I'll only tell you the JavaScript. Okay, why? Because let us see the front end. So on the front end you already learned the JavaScript, can't you see that? Okay, in the front end you already learned JavaScript, so why there is a need to learn a new language in the back end, right? So if you are a beginner, okay, and you don't like to switch to new languages, so you can prefer the JavaScript. Okay, it will be easy because you have already learned JavaScript in the front end, then JavaScript will be in the back end also, and JavaScript will be in the databases also. So MongoDB is also a JSON based database. Okay, JavaScript objects are there in MongoDB, right? So that is why here your learning curve become very easy. Everything is JavaScript, the front end, back end, and the databases, right? So now let us take the example. If you switch to a different language, okay, let us take you have switched to Python. So on the front end, you will learn three things. On the back end, you will learn a one new thing. So four things are there. And on the databases also, you will learn a new thing, SQL. So total five things you have to learn to become a full stack developer, right? But let us take the case of JavaScript. So in the front end, you will learn three things: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. On the back end, there is already JavaScript, so three things. Then on the database also, MongoDB is still JavaScript. So only three things you need to learn for becoming a JavaScript full stack developer. Okay. So anyone have any doubt in preferring the languages for backend? PHP or Node.js, which is good? PHP is outdated. Node.js is a market trend. Okay, so I'll prefer you. I'll suggest you Node.js is good for grabbing a job in market right now. Okay. Yes, yes, you can ask me question. Sir, if someone is starting this coding journey from zero, which language is best to start with? JavaScript. ओके एज आई सेड जावास्क्रिप्ट में आपको दूसरी लैंग्वेजेस नहीं सीखनी पड़ेंगी. हाउ मच टाइम टेक एंगुलर टू लर्न? एटलीस्ट 3 to 4 months. BCA second year, which is useful language. Java is also good for backend. Okay, now there will be a large debate which language is good. Okay, does HTML CSS are essential rather than React? HTML CSS are essential for everything. You cannot do React with HTML CSS. I thought for Python, but now I will learn JS. Okay, so this is a very huge debate, guys. Okay, let me clear this thing to all of you guys. Okay, so please stop messaging for 2 minutes. Okay, we will see what is this. Okay, okay. So there are many languages in the market, right? There is Python, there is Java. Okay, there is PHP, there is Python. So beginners always confuse that which language we should learn, right? So let me tell you one example. Okay, if you go to the carpenter, okay, if you go to the carpenter and if you ask his favorite tool, so what he will tell you? The hammer, right? If you go to the plumber, if you ask his favorite tool, so what he will tell you? Wrench, right? If you go to the electrician, right, and if you ask what is his favorite tool, so what he will give you? What he will tell you? Screwdriver, right? So there are different favorite tools of different professionals. Okay, someone is carpenter, someone is electrician, and someone is plumber, right? Now, if you ask a Python developer, if you ask a data science developer, which is the best language, so what answer he will give you? Just write in the chat box. Python, exactly. Okay. So he will only tell, yes, learn Python, bro. Python से अच्छा कुछ भी नहीं है. Python में बहुत स्कोप है. Python में बहुत करियर है. Right? Now, if you go to a Java developer, okay, and if you ask that which is the best language to learn, so what he will tell you? Java, right? So he will tell you that learn Java. Java is very good, right? And if you go to a JavaScript developer, so what he will tell you? That learn JavaScript, right? So if you ask different domain people, they will always suggest you different languages. Okay. So now I will answer you that how you should choose which language to learn. Okay. So now, first of all, select your domain. Okay, in which domain you want to work, right? Suppose you want to work with full stack development, or you want to work with data science, or you want to go to machine learning. Okay, first choose your domain, right? So which domain you want to go, right? So if you are going into data science, then what is the best language? Python, no doubt. Okay. Now if you are going to full stack, okay. So in full stack there are majorly three languages that people prefer. Okay. JavaScript, Java, and Python. So here also now you have three options. Okay. Java, JavaScript, and Python. Three options are there for us, right? So now in these three options, now you will see the requirement. Okay. So learn about the requirement of your project. What is the requirement for your project? Okay. Now I'll give you one example. Suppose you want to make real time applications. Okay. What are real time applications? Where data changes in real time, like weather application where temperature will change every hour or every minute, right? So for making real time applications, JavaScript is the best option. Okay. Now if you want rapid development, ठीक है, fast काम हो जाए, okay, our work should be done very rapidly, very fast, okay, so the best language is Python, because it have everything inbuilt inside it, it have every library inside it by which you can do many things, right? So for doing rapid development, Python is the best option. Now let us suppose you want to make something enterprise level. Okay, what is enterprise level? Suppose you want to make some banking application, some financial application. Okay, so it is known as the enterprise level application. So for making enterprise level application, Java is the best option, right? So it totally depends on your requirements. Okay, so first try to understand your requirements. What are your requirements? Then you will choose the language, which language will be best to implement these requirements. Okay, sir, if I want to become AI ML, then which is better language? Python. Okay, data science, AI ML, Python. Okay, Python or R language. Certificate link. Okay, so Kunika, please drop the quiz link in the chat box. Okay, and if you guys want to connect with me, so you can go to the Google. Okay, so on Google you can search my name. So Pranshu Rathor. Okay. So on the top, you will get my LinkedIn profile. So you can also connect over me. So you can also connect with me over the LinkedIn, right? So this is my LinkedIn profile. So I'm also sharing my LinkedIn profile link in the chat box. Okay. Right. Cyber security. Cyber security is a domain where you secure your application. Okay. Okay. Let me tell you what is cyber security. So see, in full stack development, what you are doing, developing an application, right? Front end, the back end, and the databases. And what kind of application these are? Web apps, which will be hosted on a network. Okay. So now if you are hosting any application on the network, there will be many vulnerabilities and risk on your application, like hackers will be there who want to hack your application, or attackers will be there who want to attack your application. So that is the domain for cyber security, where you secure your applications through vulnerable attacks and hackers. Okay, sir, from when real class will start? Okay, I don't take class online. Okay, I don't teach online. Okay, so chat in the chat box, quiz link is there, guys. So you can go to the quiz and you can give the quiz and you can get your certificate. Sir, can you tell me which language is suitable for cybersecurity? Kunal, there is no language for cybersecurity. Cybersecurity में best practices होती हैं. Okay, so cybersecurity includes best practices how you can secure your application. But in that best practices, you have to learn Python for automation. Okay, and Kali Linux operating system. So these two things are very necessary for cybersecurity. So Linux operating system and Python. Sir, if I want to become a data analyst, which language is better? Python, also learn Excel, also learn Power BI, also learn Tableau. So these four things should be there in your resume if you want to become a data analyst. Sir, I have learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and now learning React. So I was thinking after front end, I'll start learning data science. Yes, it is absolutely fine. No issues with that. Okay. Where is your academy? Our academy is in Pune, Maharashtra. Okay. Okay. Right. So yes, yes, I was on mute. Okay. So thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Thank you for becoming my audience. Right. So happy coding ahead, guys.